This episode is brought to you by Adorama. If you're looking for photography, video, imaging, or tech needs, be sure to check out Adorama.com. Hi, this is Rich Harrington for Adorama TV, and today we're talking about the X-E1 camera system from Fujifilm. And this is a very retro throwback style camera. Now, the unit I played with came with an 18 to 55 millimeter lens. It ranged from 2.8 to 4 on the aperture side. I thought it did a nice job of offering shallow depth of field and working with low light performance. You'll notice here that details like the metal picked up pretty well, and I was shooting handheld. Like most cameras, this camera would benefit from the use of a tripod or a monopod to stabilize shots at lower light because the ISO doesn't go too high. Now, the camera itself is relatively light, weighs about 12 ounces when you have the battery and the memory card in it, a little bit more when you attach a lens, and that's going to vary. But this is a beefy camera, 16 megapixels on the sensor and very responsive. When you turn it on in half a second. When you start to shoot, literally 0.05 lag on the shutter, 0.1 seconds on autofocus, and you could shoot high speed continuous up to 6 frames a second. So if you're looking for a compact camera that can give you lots of coverage, this really works. Now, what's also nice is this camera has a magnesium body, and it really resembles the cameras of old. If you look at sort of the black areas and the silver areas here, very much a retro looking camera. The texture feels very good. This type of camera is really one that you're choosing for its combination of looks and performance, but it is very versatile. It does have a built-in flash that works very well, and that's going to help you work with things. The flash itself is pretty versatile. It's got red eye removal, auto mode, it can actually do slow sync. So I found that this flash had a lot of control. The camera did a really nice job on portraits and candids. I think it did a good job of capturing a busy subject. I did shoot my own children here on a recent trip, and it held up well in low light indoor situations. Using the pop-up flash on the camera, I was able to get plenty of light and attractive portraits. The camera itself, very responsive on the ISO front, between 100 and 6400, and you can sort of artificially push that in an expanded range up to about 25,000, although I found that I didn't really shoot above 6400. The ability to do both JPEG and RAW to SD camera media, and it actually works with the newer cards, the SDHC and the SDXC formats, if you want those real fast cards, and that's going to come in handy for that high-speed burst mode shooting. Now, the camera itself is very similar in layout to the X Pro 1. So if you're looking for that sort of feel and you've played with that camera, I think you're going to like it. Very similar with the top plate here, the ability to control shutters, nice use of dials, very, very robust system. And I found that the autofocus worked well, good high contrast, held up nicely, and I think that you'll be very happy with this camera, particularly if you are interested in the more expensive X Pro 1. This camera does have exposure bracketing, ISO bracketing, and a very high resolution viewfinder. I did find that some of the bracketing features were useful to have some safety captures in difficult lighting. And it also has built-in HD video recording. So you can record a true 1080p video file using the very popular 24 frames per second. You have adjustments over the mic level, 4 levels of settings, so some flexibility there for recording sound. And it does have a very good autofocus system that works well when shooting video. The in-camera panoramic modes for the camera were passable. It did a better job on indoor panoramics than exteriors. Now, the lens itself, very solid, 14 elements in 10 groups. I found that this was a lens that definitely minimized distortion and did a nice job of getting coverage. Because of the crop factor on the lens, that 18 to 55 millimeter lens really performs more like a 28 to 80 millimeter lens. So you're going to get good range of coverage there for lots of things, and the lens is totally removable. So if you want to go ahead and get a different lens or a system on there, you do have a lot of flexibility with exchange. I found the menu system of this camera fairly intuitive, lots of choices, and a lot of ways to go in and really tweak it. This is a camera where you're going to find yourself relying on a lot of the auto settings to get the job done. But if you know what you're doing with the camera and you're just looking for a small, compact one, you will be able to do a good job of taking total control by shooting in aperture priority or shutter priority or even manual mode. We also have the ability, what I like, a dedicated dial for ISO. So that's going to make it really easy to know exactly where you're shooting and make quick compensation on the fly. Of course, you're going to find yourself probably using some of the auto features too. This camera is really sort of right in the middle there. You can run in auto mode and let the camera do a lot of the work for you, or switch over to manual, shutter priority, aperture priority, and really start to take total control over this, much like a DSLR. All right, for Adorama TV, my name is Rich Harrington, and I invite you to head over to the Adorama Learning Center, where you'll find a bunch of articles with more camera reviews that you could check out, as well as tons of articles and videos to help you get more from your photography.
Adorama TV is brought to you by Adorama, your best source for the equipment and knowledge you need. For all the latest photography, video, and computer gear, visit Adorama.com. Place your order by 7 p.m. and it ships the same day. Plus, the next time you're in New York City, be sure to visit our store, located on 18th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. Check out the Adorama Rental Company for professional cameras, lighting, computers, and more. We'll help you make the best selection to match your needs while giving you the knowledge to achieve the best outcome from your rental. Adorama is your complete solution for equipment, printing, training, and more. Adorama, more than a camera store.